Hello, this is a quick overview of the Missouri Student Survey Reports for 2016. My contact information is included in case you have any questions. In this video, we will look at the various reports you might be getting and talk a little bit about how to read them. Please ignore the actual data on the reports. That is just for the purposes of our conversation and is not actually meaningful. The first report is the short report. This report highlights key questions from the survey. As you can see, it starts with an overview of your sample population. It is important to keep this in mind as you review the report. A sample population that is different from the comparison means that comparisons are not really meaningful. Also, much of this report will vary by things like age. So if your sample is biased towards younger or older students, the data is still useful, but you need to be careful and not try to generalize the data towards groups that are not represented in your sample. This report is relatively straightforward comparison between your district or building level data and the state numbers. Next, we have the Excel files. These will be a little more complex and not every school will need to use them. However, if you do want to look more in depth at your data, this file gives you a breakdown of each question. To read the file, first scroll past the information at the top. This is just information on how the report was generated. Once you get to the frequency table section, look for the question headings across the top of each table. The answer choices are here. And then you'll either want to look at the frequency column, which gives you the number of students who answered with that choice, or the valid percent column, which gives you the percentage of students who answered that choice. I would recommend ignoring the first percent column, as that does not account for students who choose to skip the question. The title of the Excel file will tell you what data you're looking at. For those districts who have buildings with at least 30 students who participated, you will also get a building level report. Changing files here, for those districts who have buildings with at least 30 students per grade who participated, you will get a second building report that is separated by grade. The grade report looks very similar, but you will look here at the bottom of each table to see what grade the table is referring to. Data is grouped by grade, so you'll get all of the 6th grade questions, for example, first, and then if you scroll, you will eventually get to the 7th grade, 8th grade, etc. For schools who had some grades that met the criteria and some grades that did not, you will get reports for every grade that met the 30 students per threshold, even if that means that we skip a few. In addition to the district level reports, which are released only to those whom you designated, we will make the student survey data publicly available at the county level and with a state level report. This will be available early fall. See this website for the county and state level data. Thank you again for participating.